How does science explain our consciousness? Consciousness has long been a profound and perplexing mystery for humanity, occupying the crossroads of philosophy, science, and even spirituality. It is the awareness we have of ourselves and the world around us, yet understanding how it arises from the physical processes of the brain has been one of science's most enduring challenges. Advances in neuroscience, cognitive science, and related disciplines have begun to shed light on this enigmatic phenomenon, though many questions remain unanswered. To begin, consciousness can be broadly defined as the state of being aware of and able to perceive one's environment, thoughts, and emotions. It encompasses a range of experiences, from sensory perception and memory to self-reflection and imagination. For centuries, philosophers such as René Descartes debated the nature of consciousness, famously coining the phrase, "I think, therefore I am." However, the tools and techniques available to early thinkers were limited to introspection and logical reasoning. Modern science, by contrast, approaches the question with empirical methods, studying the brain as a biological system that generates consciousness. The prevailing scientific view of consciousness is grounded in the understanding that the brain is the organ responsible for our thoughts, perceptions, and subjective experiences. Billions of neurons form complex networks that transmit electrical and chemical signals, allowing different regions of the brain to communicate with one another. Scientists believe that consciousness emerges from the integration of information within these networks. This idea is central to the global workspace theory, one of the leading scientific explanations for consciousness. According to this theory, specific regions of the brain act as a workspace, where information from various sensory inputs and cognitive processes is brought together and made available to our conscious awareness. This integrated information is then shared with other parts of the brain, enabling decision-making, reasoning, and introspection. Another prominent theory, known as integrated information theory, approaches consciousness from a different angle. It suggests that consciousness arises from the degree to which a system can integrate information. This theory quantifies consciousness using a mathematical measure referred to as phi, which reflects the amount of integrated information a system contains. While this approach has not yet been fully validated, it provides a framework for understanding why certain systems, such as the human brain, are conscious while others, such as a computer, are not, at least under current technological conditions. Neuroscience has identified certain areas of the brain that play critical roles in generating conscious experiences. For example, the cerebral cortex is involved in higher-order thinking, perception, and awareness. The prefrontal cortex, in particular, is associated with self-awareness and decision-making. The thalamus, a central structure deep within the brain, acts as a relay station, transmitting sensory information to the cortex and other areas. Scientists believe that disruptions in these regions can lead to alterations in consciousness, such as during sleep, anesthesia, or coma. By studying these states, researchers gain insights into the neural mechanisms that underpin consciousness. Despite these advances, consciousness remains a deeply complex phenomenon. One of the greatest challenges lies in explaining the subjective nature of conscious experience, often referred to as the hard problem of consciousness. Coined by philosopher David Chalmers, this term highlights the difficulty of understanding why and how physical processes in the brain give rise to the feeling of being an individual with a unique inner life. For example, while we can study the neural pathways involved in seeing the color red, it is far more challenging to explain why seeing red feels the way it does. This subjective quality, known as qualia, remains elusive and difficult to measure scientifically. Some scientists propose that consciousness may not be unique to humans and may even extend beyond biological systems. Research into animal consciousness has shown that many non-human species display behaviors indicative of self-awareness, problem-solving, and emotional complexity. For example, certain primates can recognize themselves in mirrors, while elephants and dolphins demonstrate empathy and mourning behaviors. These findings suggest that consciousness exists along a spectrum rather than being an all-or-nothing phenomenon. Beyond the animal kingdom, some theorists speculate about the possibility of artificial consciousness. With advancements in artificial intelligence, machines are becoming increasingly capable of mimicking human behavior, raising questions about whether they might one day achieve consciousness. However, most researchers agree that current AI systems, no matter how sophisticated, lack the subjective awareness that characterizes true consciousness. This distinction highlights the gap between processing information and experiencing it. Understanding consciousness also has profound implications for medicine and mental health. Disorders such as schizophrenia, depression, and dissociative identity disorder are often associated with disruptions in conscious experience. By unraveling the neural basis of consciousness, scientists hope to develop more effective treatments for these conditions. Similarly, studying altered states of consciousness, such as those induced by meditation, psychedelics, or deep hypnosis, provides valuable insights into how the brain constructs reality. In conclusion, science has made significant progress in explaining how consciousness arises from the physical processes of the brain, yet many fundamental questions remain unanswered. By exploring the neural, cognitive, and philosophical aspects of consciousness, researchers continue to deepen our understanding of what it means to be aware. This journey is not only a quest to understand the workings of the brain, but also an exploration of the essence of human existence. As research progresses, it promises to bridge the gap between the biological and experiential aspects of consciousness, bringing us closer to unlocking one of life's greatest mysteries.